The core of Jeopardy is the writing. And fortunately, I have co-producers and head writers, a wonderful staff of writers and researchers who are responsible for the heart and soul of the show, which is the game material itself. We've been to New York, we've got other remotes in the works. That seems to have energized the show quite a bit. Alex Trebek brings credibility to the show, not only in the way in which he hosts it, but by virtue of the fact that he cares so much about the integrity of the show and is such a professional that I think that comes through in his performance. That's one of the things we always have to be aware of, is that there could be some other answer out there that could be right, that we're not aware of, even with all the research that we do. We will stop tape, we'll research their answer, and just like in baseball, well, where all ties go to the runner, in this case, all ties go to the contestant. We're always looking out to rule in favor of the contestant whenever possible.
My career in show business started a long time ago, when I was about 17. Started out as a singer, professional singer, and traveled for years with that. Then I did a stint in the Army in Special Services, and that was also in show business. And then I went to New York in 1960 and been doing television ever since. I worked as a professional singer for several years, and that helped me an awful lot, by the way, in television, because I studied with a classical singing teacher, and that helped me with the breathing and how to use the voice. And I did The Price is Right with Bill Cullen, and did several different shows there, one with Burt Parks, then called Yours for a Song, and then I worked with Dick Clark on the $25,000 Pyramid, John Davidson on the $100,000 Pyramid, did the Dinah Shore program for 8 years, and of course Circus of the Stars and People's Choice Awards. And I've been doing a show for the last several years that the kids really love called Supermarket Sweep, along with Jeopardy. The original Jeopardy, for instance, they had people standing behind the board raising cards to reveal the responses. And now we have about 9 different computer systems that run the show.
I mean, I started on this show so long ago. I was young when I started on this show, and that was 1984, the first year I was the booth AD, and I edited the first season. And then I went back to Merv Griffin's show, who created it, for a year, and then 1986 came back here permanent. In 1991, I think, I started directing, basically from the beginning. You go on the road and you see 4,500 people going crazy for Alex or crazy for a certain contestant. You feel proud of what you're doing. I think the more aggressive you are on this show, the better off you are. You can't wait till the answer pops in your mind. You've got to say, history, I'm good at this. He reads the question, you ring in, and then you've got to have the presence of mind and the coolness to just pull it out of the air, give the answer, and go on to the next one. He loves what he's doing. He's great with the contestants. He calms them down when they need calming down, and he gets them a little excited when they need to be excited. He's like an arbitrator out there. He's impartial, but he wants the show to be great every night.
I'm 2 years shy of celebrating my golden anniversary in this business. I'll be in the business 50 years by the year 2002. If you have something for me to announce right now, I'll do it for you. It's really the best part of the show, because the audience comes here expecting God knows what, and the first person they see is me, and I scare the daylights out of them. The favorite part of my job, I think, is a combination of the warm-up, working with the studio audiences, and also working with Pat and Vanna. They're just two of the loveliest people I've ever worked with, and I've worked with the biggest stars in this business, and they're just genuinely nice people. And I feel very privileged to be a part of this show.
The best part of the job for me personally is motivating contestants, getting them to be the best players that they can be. It's not unusual for 20,000 people to send in postcards in a city, only 200 to 300 of those people getting an audition. There's a lot of people trying to get on. The perfect Wheel of Fortune contestant would probably be someone at home that you would root for, that you could really get behind. It's someone who's going to carry the show well, who's going to keep the show moving along, who's going to have a nice presence about them, a good energy, maybe a sense of humor, but ultimately a good puzzle solver. Would I make a good contestant? That's an interesting question, because I think so. I think I have a certain energy that would be helpful. But at the same time, I don't know. I could get thrown under the cameras there and freak out. You know, that's a possibility. And
whether it's Pat and Vanna and the way they work with one another and how comfortable the viewers are with them, to a certain extent, it's the puzzles and how easy it is to play along. You can walk into the room at any time, and if the puzzles are on the screen, you want to play along. On one hand is the prom queen and unapproachable, and on the other hand is like the girl that you feel that you know, and you feel like if you see her on the street, you could walk up to her and say hello, and she would respond in a friendly manner. And that happens to be the truth. She would. Vowels. Read a lot, watch the show a lot, understand logical letters. If you see an N, let's say, second to the last in a word, very often the next logical letter as the last letter in the word might be G. To really concentrate on the categories as you're playing. The biggest thing that we find that helps a contestant coming into audition is a natural enthusiasm for the show, not manufactured, not put on, and not over the top.
I started with Merv's company in 1973. At that point, Merv just had an idea about, it was a game called Hangman. From that, there was a team of 3 or 4 of us who worked in development that spent the next 2 years coming up with the format for Wheel of Fortune. Really, it's about the contestants, the celebrity contestants. Dealing with the celebrity contestants has probably been the most fun. When we are on the road, that is a extra special, hectic, and people feel the pressure.
Well, I tell you, it's probably the best part is to sit at home and watch the show, because that's when you really get to sit down and realize that you've done something with a great group of people, putting your show together and making something happen. And then to sit back and enjoy the contestants and to enjoy the show and just what it is to be part of such a remarkable enterprise as Wheel of Fortune. In our first show, we start at 2 o'clock, so we're normally in about 7 hours before the first show. It's a tremendous experience, plus we get to bring the home viewer a different city and excitement every time we travel on the road. She's the genuine thing. What you see on the air is what you get. She's a warm person, and I think that translates over the air.
Well, actually, there are 2 people in the research writing department. We really take contributions. I mean, Pat and Vanna bring us puzzles, a lot of scribblings on cocktail napkins and things like that. The first puzzle I ever wrote was Elvis Has Left the Building. I kind of think about that a lot. Orchestra Pit Bull. Just go in there and try to have fun. I've noticed in the past that the people that come to the show that are enthusiastic and upbeat, just seems like they have a better time and things seem to go their way.
It takes about 120 people, crew and staff included, to produce the show on a regular basis. I think the best part of my job is to see everything come together, all the pieces of the puzzle that come together to make the show successful. And that's on a day-to-day basis, because a lot of planning goes into each and every week of shows that we produce. And when that plan comes together and the shows look great, and the contestants are great, and we've given away a lot of prizes and there's a lot of excitement, that's really what's rewarding. The thing that I've noticed over the years with contestants is that the ones that are really focused on the game, that have a lot of energy, a lot of personality, they seem to do the best. I think with Vanna, it's what you see is what you get, and she really sort of exudes beauty and grace and style, and she's one of the kindest, nicest people that I've ever had the good pleasure to work with.
Before Wheel of Fortune, I was struggling a little bit. I had some part-time jobs as a waitress and went on auditions and things like that. And then Wheel of Fortune came along. I was probably the most nervous person to audition, and you can ask Pat Sajak, he'll tell you the same thing. My knees were shaking, my mouth was quivering. I was so nervous. But I think it works. The whole show works. Pat and I and the puzzles and the contestants, it all kind of works together and everyone seems to enjoy it. Thank goodness. I don't look anything like this when I come into the studio. I have no makeup on, my hair's soaking wet, I usually have jeans on or sweats, and then in a couple of hours they transform me into the Vanna White that you know on TV. Quiet on the set! Most of the clothes are sent to the studio and I try them on and I wear them and then they're taken away, so I don't get to keep any of them. I am a full-time mom. I carpool, I get up with the kids at 6 o'clock in the morning, get them off to school and breakfast, and just, I am a full-time mom. It's a hard job, but I love it. The best part about my job is making people happy and rich.
Congratulations on your great score. If you'd like more information on how to become a contestant on the television show, write to this address. And be sure to watch your local Wheel of Fortune station for information on how to audition when Wheel of Fortune comes to your town. Well done. See you next time. You didn't pass. Sorry. But come back and try again anytime. Bye-bye.